50-51 for me. Yeah, that game we talked about, that was a really interesting one back in round 2 against Norwood. I mean, that really highlighted the frailties of football sometimes. Murray Stevenson, who played so wonderfully well that day as a key forward, had that shot late in the game and just missed. It's amazing how it comes down to feet and inches so often in sport, particularly in footy, as we're not too far away from a start here at Ex-Convenience Oval, Elizabeth. The Doggies taking on the Tigers. Robbie Neal and John Nankerville, your commentators this afternoon. Round 7, the season's flying by quickly, and I must give a shout out too. Well done to the SA boys in the state game last weekend, defeating a fast finishing Western Australia by 7 points. Great to see South Australia get the result in the state game, and well done to all who participated, and congratulations to John O'Beach for his win with the Foss Williams medal. Is back here, start of the game. Jesse White outpointed in the ruck there by Fort. Snoop leapt over the footy, got a shove in the back from Jared Chiller, and Glenelg a chance to get the first clearance. They go out wide. Nice mark taken out there by Shot, the former West Adelaide player. Wheels around, kicks long inside 50. McBean there. Big fly. Huge fly from the back. What about that for a grab to start the game for the Tigers from close, out of nowhere? 2 or 3 deep, Robbie Neal.
He did. He didn't have anything sort of preventing him from launching at that one. He just did a little double around. McBean did the same, and he just jumped at it. A bit like Liam Ryan last night at over in Perth against Melbourne. So he's just got to kick truly to make the most of this opportunity.
Close. Oh, gee, wonderful mark, but in the end, the kick letting him down. First score on the Williams Refrigeration scoreboard, behind to the base, but a great mark. That'll go on the contenders for mark of the week. Harble, the boy from Ganmain, Gron Matong, brings it back into play out towards half-back. Fort was up, couldn't take it. Jared Schiller linking nicely with Hoskin, goes towards the outer wing, and Menzel, important play today for the Dogs, has the footy. Kick chopped off though, Joseph to Agnew, and now some run for the Bays. Little kick comes out wide towards Bradley, fumbled it but recovered nicely, got it over the top to White. And now Motlop can put the Bays inside 50 and getting back. Good work by McBean. Just good body positioning there. Takes the mark, wants to get on with it, kicks to the lead of Scharenberg, and it works out nicely in the end for the Bays. They'll have this shot about 25 out, slight angle. I must correct myself, it's Hosey with the footy, not Scharenberg, but great body positioning by McBean there, Robbie, and a nice kick onto the chest of Hosey.
It was the work McBean did off the ball prior to the ball arriving, and he was able to get in behind Nick Madden, and that's the thing, he can run really well. Very similar to Michael Newton when he was at Norwood, and here's Hosey.
Oh, he's pushed to the right. Couple of early chances for the Bays going begging.
But I think this oval's really going to suit the likes of McBean, John. I think he's got that movement. He can work behind the footy and make the defender defend 360 degrees.
And he's a very hard man to watch or to stop, McBean. He's got all the talent and all the skills, all the agility. As Fort gets up, almost pulls down the mark for the Dogs. Agnew at ground level, shoveled it out. Chance now for Partington. Wobbly kick will just go inside 50. Jenner there with big McBean, and that's a big height mismatch on that occasion. Jenner, a very experienced defender, but giving up a lot of inches. Goes short to Jew. Still inside defensive 50 for the Dogs. Jew hands off to Harble, who's got a bit of it early. Playing in the back pocket off defensive 50. Nice kick. Fort again spoiled, but Presbury there to back him up did well. Kicks towards the outer wing. Menzel. Great to see him back in the SANFL this season. Drives it towards 50, but Glenelg have the numbers, and Curran takes the saving mark. He brings it out wide. And the Bays have it through Reynolds, the former Port Adelaide Magpie. Got a lazy forward 50 entry in the end there from the Doggies.
Yeah, no, it's the second kick from Troy Menzel that missed the target, and it's been intercepted by Glenelg, and be able to bring it out the other side. So he's just got to value the ball, probably just play a little bit slower and just ensure that the next possession hits the target. Curran
to Gould. The Dogs go to the outer side. Getting up high there, unable to bring it down, but recovering nicely was White. Got it back to Shot. But Chalmers calling for it. He ignores that. Kicks towards 50. Bouncing ball. Trav Schiller was good. Got it to McKenzie. And now the Doggies can go back inside the defensive 50 where Hayden takes the mark for the Doggies. Recently graduating from university. Now a doctor, Hayden, to add to his title. He finds Madden and Harble again, who, as I said, picking up a lot of the footy early doors here at Elizabeth Oval. 2 behinds the Bays on the Williams Refrigeration scoreboard. Central yet to score. Harble back to Hayden, so that camped in that left back pocket at the moment.
They're defending the width of the oval really well, Glenelg. They're just trying to force the Dogs to kick over the top of them, so they're not finding anything they can accelerate off laterally. So they're doing a really good job and may force an error here.
Jenner just managed to find Hayden on the bounce, who goes to the outer wing. Good mark from Goodrum. Some of the veterans combining there for the Dogs as Goodrum finds Menzel. Now, this time he pushes towards 50. Gould is there and way too tall in the contest. Pulls that one down. Goes searching towards halfback. Snook was good over the head of Chalmers with the handball. Reynolds was waiting, tackled well by Darcy Pisani. Good tackle. Central will take the advantage as Hoskin marks the Presbury kick. Loads up towards 50, but again, he's been good, Gould.
Well, the lead up from Flynn Pisani was on. He came off Gould and led up at the kicker, but the kicker decided to go over the top, and Gill was able to peel off and take the intercept mark.
Joseph's kick over the head of Curran. Chance for Fort now for the Dogs. Nice kick. Good mark, McKenzie. And Central, a chance for their first shot on goal.
Well, Will Gould's going to be a bit of a Jeremy McGovern, and what you've got to do there in that situation, there is a mismatch in with Flynn Pisani, who's quite short, but use him on the lead up, and you can do that. You can value the ball and force him to defend, and then you can sort of eliminate his strength, which is intercept marking.
So McKenzie, after Glenelg controlled the opening minutes here at Elizabeth, lining up for his first, the Doggies' first, starts at left, brings it back quite nicely, but just across the face in the end. And through for a behind. The first score on the Williams Refrigeration scoreboard to Central is 2 behinds, plays 1. We've gone 6 minutes in this first term as Gould launches a big long kick back to half back. White was up, big fly, couldn't take it. Glenelg work it out with handball, close. Was good to Partington. And now the Bays with some run through Scharenberg. He kicks them towards 50. Bouncing football. Gregson 2 to beat. Central did it well. Harble chipped it up to Jenner. And Jenner now goes searching for Jew. He'll get it on the bounce, and again Central will clear. They've done this quite well as Barreau marks at half back. Goes down the outer wing. That's not a great kick though. And the Bays will get the free kick. A shot. Also not brilliant in terms of the kick. Mopped up by Jenner. Goes short, and Hoskin, who's such a dangerous player, has it at half back for Central. He's one of those guys, Robbie, who can just be so influential. Hoskin for the Dogs. He's chipped it off on this occasion, but he'll feature in today's game, I'm sure. And of course, you've got the job of the 3-2-1 votes for the Digital Pass Player of the Year. We'll keep an eye on that as the game goes on and get those from Robbie at full time as Harble, members wing, loads up towards 50. Umpire's whistle is gone, and it's a free kick to the Dogs. And it's going to go the way of Menzel.
Yeah, well, Marks, they wouldn't be happy with that. They had the outnumber there, and they gave away the free kick. It was a 3v2 in favour of Glenelg, and they're able to, whilst having the advantage, were able to give up possession. And now Mackenzie's got it just outside 50. He's probably a bit too far out. Going by the windsock too, John, the wind seems to be blown to that southern end of the oval, so you'll be sort of kicking right into the teeth. You might just be maybe looking to drop this one off short right at the last moment, but we'll see.
Distance will be the test as Mackenzie from just outside 50 going to lob top of the goal square territory. Fist came down. Glenelg had the crummers in the end. Handball wayward. Darcy Pisani just missed the target. Chance for the Tigers to clear. There's Gregson, little chip kick towards shot. Too tall for Jenner. Play on the call, got a handball out. But it's Central who should come up with this one. They do throw through Presbury. Goes backwards to go forward. Finds Jew on that outer wing. Brendan Jew, high kick back towards 50 for Central. Big fly. Unable to complete the mark from the side there was Fort. Doggies battling desperately. As Agnew fired out the handball, and a chance for the Tigers to clear now. as they go towards half forward. A nice diving mark taken there for Glenelg. Big kick towards 50, just getting caught behind that on that occasion there, the Glenelg player. Nice little handball inside 50 from McBean. Quick kick from Partington, dribbles back, curls back, but not enough. Another behind results. The Tigers 3 straight behind, Central's 1 behind, 9.5 gone. Williams Refrigeration scoreboard.
Very smart there by McBean. He was able to see Luke Partington free ahead of the ball, dish out the handball, and Partington gave it a bit of a tumbler and was able to almost run after it and kick it again.
As Agnew in the contest hooks it back. Presbury, though, traps it deep in defence for Central. Just chips it up, and Harble has it again as, again, Central rebound. Glenelg have had their chances, and they might get another one here as Bailey just knocks it out towards Gregson, who's tackled well. Very strong tackle by Jyden Nagel, and he'll get the free kick at defensive 50 for the Dogs. As he's proved to be quite a good player for Central in the early rounds. A big-bodied midfielder, Jyden Nagel. He goes back with the kick to O'Gorman, all on his own in the left-back pocket. With some run, he comes to 50, drives towards half-back. Nice kick, nice vision, and a good grab by Barrow. As Central come again towards half-forward. Getting up high, Auckland couldn't take it. Joseph got it back to White. Now a chance for Betterman, who played with the South Australian under-18 team last year. Kicks towards the wing. McBean, quick kick under pressure. Fumble by Pisani, that's Darcy, but he's got time to recover. Pops it up, but a couple of runners. It's Harble again, who's been very busy in this first term. We just need to check the player spotlight when it comes up at the 20-minute mark. He drives towards the wing. Goodrum caught behind, fist out of play. Central doing everything they can to hold out the Tigers at the moment, Robbie, but you feel the dam's going to burst at some point.
Yeah, and I think at times too, the Dogs have just sort of kicked the ball to where they're outnumbered a little. I think they've just got to just take in a little bit more of the environment that's around them and just ensure they use the numbers, because they do have some free numbers around the ball, but they seem to be kicking the ball away from them at present.
Comment Robbie Neal here on the SANFL digital pass. As Glenelg 3 behinds, Central 1 behind on the Williams Refrigeration scoreboard. 11.5 gone first term. Darcy Pisani linking nicely, and some run now from Trav Schiller. Kicks down the wing, and Central take possession. Long kick back inside 50. Joseph on the ground, got a handball out. Ball toe poked away. Chalmers there with Presbury close to the line under the scoreboard. Over they go for another boundary throw in.
I think Troy Menzel might have just got one in the back of the head there, John. I think he's okay, but I think it might have been a bit of a head clash just in that marking contest just previously.
Auckland, good to see him out there for the Dogs. Wins it down. Trav Schiller fires back the handball. Pisani got it to Barrow. Central can come again. There's Darcy Pisani now inside 50, bouncing ball. Curran traps it well. His handball was knocked down. Glenelg, though, keep possession as Curran, second time, clears the zone. Bradley chips up, not going to come off. It was intercepted there by Nagel. Flying shot on goal, hits the post, and no one can break the behind drought at the moment. Matty Nagel's kick there, crashing into the post. Central's 2 behinds, Glenelg 3 behinds, 13 gone. First term on the Williams Refrigeration scoreboard. He's wasting no time. The Tigers bring it in. They have it at half back. Reynolds it will be. Long kick down this members wing. Pack forms. In front, McBean knocked away from him. Tigers come up with the footy though. Quick little kick from Betterman. Chance now for Glenelg, for Bailey. Pops it up. Hosey, front position, plays on. Kicks to the voice in the goal square. Goal coming up the Tigers as Gregson waltzes in. And finally we do break that behind drought. It's the Tigers with their first. They're 1-3-9, Central 2 behinds, 13.5 gone in this first quarter. And that first goal for Glenelg, first goal of the game, is thanks to Bone Timber, providing quality timber since 1919, a 5th generation family business. And that was a good mark and good vision from Hosey there, Robbie.
Absolutely, and it came out from a bailout kick from Luke Reynolds and McBean was able to present up the ground and at least form a contest. Luke Parrington was able to get the quick handball forward, and they worked it forward to Hosey, who had the presence of mind knowing that Gregson was running ahead, forward of the ball free, and was able to get around the player on the mark and knock it to him in for the first major for the Tigers.
So it took a while, 14 minutes, but we got there. But there's been some good football. It's just probably the one thing that's let this game down. Times there's a little bit of skill execution, but also the kicking on goal. But now that we've broken or got the first one, it might flow a bit easier as Agnew comes barging through for the Tigers. He's going nowhere. Ball up. What's your take, Robbie, on the kick-in rule now, where the players don't have to wait for anything? They can just charge out the goal square whenever they choose. Keeps the game moving?
I suppose it does, but I don't think the team kicking in is actually getting really any advantage.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think they're knocking it out to sort of 50 and 70, but it's not necessarily leading into inside 50 entries to the other end. So it'll be interesting to see. I haven't got any statistical data to back that up, but that just seems to be, I suppose, from how I'm feeling, that even watching at AFL level, it seems to be the situation.
As the Tigers had it in defence, a wayward kick attempting to go across half-back has been picked off right on 50 by Darcy Pisani. So Central now with a chance for goal. The former Norwood boy Darcy Pisani with the footy, played one game at the Redlegs, was in their reserves grand final team last year. He kicks from 50, looks good off the boot, going to just drift across the face and be fisted through for a behind. So Central a bit lucky there, Glenelg a bit lucky there, because that was sloppy coming out of defence.
Yeah, it was, and Das is probably just right on the brink of his distance there. He probably, if he could knock that extra kick in and just value those inside 50s, be really important. He's Hoskin with another entry.
And we see another turnover as Hoskin marking the Gould kick and then finding Jared Schiller. Probably goes to your point a little bit there, Robbie, we were talking about before. Not a great advantage for the Glenelg with the kick in, with Gould under pressure coming out from the goal square, turning it over, and now a chance for Schiller for goal for Central.
Yeah, well, Centrals are leading the inside 50, 7-6 at the moment. So, and they seem to be kicking into just a slight breeze. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with this kick with Schiller.
Schiller kicking into said breeze, gives it all he's got, perhaps a little too much, drifts across the face and through for another behind. 4 straight behind Central. Glenelg 139, 16 and a half gone first quarter. As this time Joseph from the right back pocket launches a long kick to half back. Fort was up, off hands Madden. Did it nicely to Jared Schiller. Now Presbury kicks towards the top of the goals, but Glenelg have the numbers, and Gould, who's been very solid in this first term, takes the saving mark.
Well, Will Gould's taken 5 marks already in this term, John, and that can't be the case anymore. I think the Dogs just need to lower their eyes a little bit and make him defend, certainly, but he's Jeremy McGovern at the moment. I think they've just got to work their way just a little bit shorter and lower their eyes, just going inside 50.
Long kick from Proud, marked by Auckland. He gave to Matt Nagel. His kick on the bounce has been trapped nicely by Gillard. Tackled, though, holding the ball, and it's Motlop who'll get the free. Just starting to get a little scrappy from both sides. Motlop's kick towards half-back. Again, it's Gould, who chips over the top to Betterman. Betterman's kick, and it's marked by Close, who took that screamer in the opening seconds from nowhere. Goes inside 50, nice kick, and Hosey takes the mark, as he often does, already ready to play on. Goes towards the goals of a couple of steps and nails it. He's an excitement machine when he gets going, Hosey. He kicks his first after setting up the first for Glenelg. They skip away 2-3-15. Central's 4 behind on the Williams Refrigeration scoreboard. But Hosey, he's always ready to go. He takes the mark, he's always looking, he's always on.
He did. He turns and assesses really quickly, and he almost kicked it up the backside of his teammate. he rolled to kick it quickly, and then his teammate got in the way, and the umpire called play on, and he didn't panic. He was able to quickly just to establish balance on his feet and then kick it over, and it carried quite well actually. And so the breeze is blowing towards that southern end, as we mentioned earlier. So the Bays have been able to get a couple on the board, which would be very important going into the quarter time break.
There's one down the ruck by White to Jared Schiller to Presbury. Central pressuring again through Hoskin. Little chip kick to half forward. Nice mark by Trav Schiller. Gets it off there to the player in Hoskin. Kick just over the head of Menzel. Still alive inside 50 for the Dogs. Chance to clear. Betterman's kick was smothered. Now a chance for Curran. Comes out towards half-back. Long kick. And the Glenelg player was infringed. That's Hosey again out at half-back this time. Doggies fans not happy, but Hosey with the football just chips short, finds Snook, who might have caught one. And he'll get a 25 as well. I think it was Gillard just coming through, and Snook's got it now at half forward for the Tigers.
Again, it was another wasteful inside 50 for Centrals. They had some frees, but they elected to kick it long, and it didn't eventuate again.
Reynolds up high, couldn't take it. Harble. And right on cue, Harble, Luke Harble, the player spotlight for the first term for Central, not surprising, as Hoskin chips it up, and Trav Schiller's got it in the left-back pocket, and that is thanks to SA Power Networks, an iconic SA organisation, that player spotlight for the Dogs. Luke Harble very busy in this first quarter. Ball at half-back for the Dogs, half-forward for Glenelg. Umpires decided he better take control, see if he can get things moving, as White comes charging in from the ruck. In the end, the ball went up and everyone sort of let it go by. Jared Schiller came through. Hoskin now to Fort. Fort's kick down the outer wing. Good mark. Courageous stuff there from the skipper, Curran, for the Tigers. Throwing his body around. Waste no time with a high kick back towards half forward. Bradley lurking through his hands. At the back, Darcy Bailey. Can he pick it up? He can, but he's well tackled by Jew. In the end, it came out to close. He's also grabbed in the tackle. And again, the umpire says, my ball. As again, it's Central now cast in the roller to the desperate defenders trying to hold out the bays.
Just on Luke Harble, he's had 8 possessions so far, 8 kicks and a tackle as well, and 4 marks.
A very strong first term as Mackenzie's kick comes out towards half-back. In the end, it's the Bays who end up with it. Bradley, little chip kick, finds Betterman. Finn Betterman with the footy, drives towards 50. Caught behind was Reynolds, it didn't matter. He leapt high over Jenner and took that. Squares it up, 2 to beat Hosey. He almost did, close at the back. Fired out the handball to Scharenberg. Now it's shot, wheels around, caught behind Hosey, knocks it down. Ball still in dispute. Madden happy to see it over, but Glenelg looking dangerous inside their 50. They've got a lot of options.
Yeah, that's a dangerous forward line we spoke about prior to the game, and Luke Reynolds is one of those. If he can get one out, he's just so hard to defend. He can jump and catch, and he can roll around on that left boot and kick accurately at goal, but usually find a target as well. His field kicking is very good.
McBean went up in the ruck, won it down. Here's Scharenberg. Flying shot on goal, and it's a straight shot on goal, and something out of nothing on that occasion from Scharenberg results in a goal to the Bays. 3-3-21. Central's 4 straight behinds. They're getting left behind a bit, the Doggies, on the Williams Refrigeration scoreboard, as we are 2 minutes into time on in this first quarter.
I think with the Doggies, I think they'll probably, look back certainly on this first quarter on their wasted opportunities going inside 50. They've actually had some short targets that they could have gone to. However, they've kicked it to either where they're outnumbered or to one-on-ones forward of the ball, but they haven't been to the advantage of their key players further down the oval. And I think they just need to lower their lies and just make this Glenelg defence defend them and just work their way up just a little bit slower, but just make better quality of their inside 50 ball use.
Yeah, good observation there from Robbie Neal. It's one of those games that even though Glenelg are starting to stretch it out, you just don't feel Central are that far behind. It's, as we said, skill execution a bit straighter in front of goal. As Snook, long kick to 50, bouncing ball. Nice little knock on from Gregson to the previous goal kicker, Scharenberg. He has some good vision and finds Bailey. 40 out, slight angle. And Darcy Bailey, sporting the ginger beard, will go back and have a shot on goal.
Well, Johnny Scharenberg, he was on fire. He kicked a beautiful snap. You would have thought I could have had 2 in a minute, but he just had the presence of mind to square it and see Darcy Bailey just in his vision laterally, and it's just able to knock it to him into a better spot.
So Darcy Bailey to really push home the Bays' advantage in this first term. Goes at it with the right boot, going to go right to the line, going to sail over the line You know, it's got the carry when it sails over Big McBean's head, as that one did. 24 gone first term. The Bays, 4-3-27, leaving the Dogs in the dust. 4 behinds, 23 points the margin. Williams refrigeration scoreboard, pardon me. 4 goals, the Bays, 4 different goal scorers, Robbie.
Yeah, and look, and that situation is actually, that exact situation has presented itself for Central's going inside 50 as well. But the ball use of Glenelg has just been a little bit better, and as a result, they've been able to get out to a decent lead of 23 points at the moment. So they're really going to take it, and the quarter's not over yet. They've got the opportunity to they're a fast breaking side out of the middle too, Glenelg, and the quarter's not over yet as far as scoring is concerned.
I reckon they've probably got a good 2-3 minutes to go. As White, rucking and roving, got it to Snook, to Motlop, his kick smothered, comes out to Partington, and now the Bays work it towards half forward where Big McBean has got the grab. Wasting no time, he chips to Bailey, very similar spot to his last mark, and he takes this one, and he can go back and go for 2 goals in as many minutes.
Well, McBean could have easily just rolled and would have felt good going long.
Yep.
But he just saw Bailey. He lowered his eyes. He was able to assess what was long, liked the shorter option, kick it to the free. Darcy Bailey just kicked a goal from the same spot, I think, about a minute ago. He's done it once. How about do it again? And this is just what we were talking about before, just lowering the eyes, making every inside 50 count.
So Bailey to make this one count for his second, Glenelg's 5th. Time on in this first term. It's a nice kick right to the line, just to the left as the quarter time siren sounds. It drifts through for a behind, but it's a good start for the Tigers. They'll be pleased with this first term. On the Williams refrigeration scoreboard, they go to 4-4-28 with that behind to Bailey. Central's 4 behinds, 24 points the lead, that quarter going just under 26 minutes. I thought it might have been a tad longer, but the timekeeper's doing a wonderful job as always. A 4-goal lead to the Tigers at quarter time here at the Ponderosa. And as we look at the goal scorers, none for the Doggies, just the 4 straight behinds. But thanks to Telstra Store Glenelg, the Tigers, Telstra Store Glenelg, AFL-wise, or VFL as it was at the time in the 80s, was that wonderful Hawthorn side who did that so well. And then probably the Doggies here in the SANFL in the past decade, just the way everyone contributed and everyone played their part as the coaches clear from and the players head back to position. And as we head towards a start in this second term, on the Williams refrigeration scoreboard, it's 4-4-28 to 4 behinds, the lead to the Tigers over Central. But as we discussed, Central probably not as far behind as all that if they can get things going with some goals early in this second term. And, well, they've played okay, the Doggies, just a little bit of finishing letting them down at times. But it'll be interesting to see, Robbie, how this second quarter starts.
Yeah, and I think that the breeze is still favouring that southern end, so Centrals just can't get carried away with it. They've still got to lower their eyes. They've still got to use the free.
So underway in the second term here at Elizabeth. 4 goals the lead to the Tigers. Fairly ordinary bounce. Somebody does the right thing to bring it back, so we'll have a take 2. It's White in the ruck for Glenelg up against Fort. As we see Auckland in the side today for the Dogs. Marsh was an omission, but Fort has been doing some ruck work. His brother Darcy, of course, in the AFL now with Geelong. Fraser wins this one down to Travis. Schiller, who gives to Hoskin. High kick from Hoskin towards half forward, but at the back, Bradley sat, waited, bided his time and took the mark in the end. Goes to the middle. White almost pulled it in. As is, he ends up with the footy, hooks it round the corner. Hoskin, the stumbling block, though, did well, got in the way. Hands off now to the run of Trav Schiller, who's been so very good in the opening weeks for the Dogs. Goodrum over the top, some run now for Central. McKenzie, a pacey player, kicks inside 50, over the head of Jyden Neagle. This one rolling back towards the behind post. Out of bounds as the Doggies get the opening inside 50. Just have to make something work from it. Their fans certainly in good voice. As in the ruck again, Fort in front position against White. White knocked it down. Jared Schiller head over the footy. fired at the handball. Darcy Pisani, Flynn Pisani hovering as well. Footy came out in the end, fought with a snap on goal. He liked it as soon as it left the boot, and the Doggies get there first. 90 seconds into the second term. Central 1-4-10, bring the margin back to 18 points. Glenelg 4-4-28, and that goal is thanks to Convenience, 100% family-owned SA business. But that was pretty smooth from Fraser Fort. Robbie starting in the ruck in the second quarter, kicks the first goal for the Dogs.
He does, and it was a beautiful little handball. I think it was Schiller. I think he was able to fire that out the back of the stoppage where Fort was, and he was able to, I think he got a fair bit of the belly of the ball. I don't think he got it as well as he'd liked, but he was able to kick straight and give the Dogs their first of the game so far.
Back in the middle, Jared Schiller just dishes off to Hoskin. He's got a couple of touches early in the second quarter. This one chopped off though, and the Bays bring it back into the middle. That was shot, and he's found White in the middle of Elizabeth Oval. Hands off to McCarthy. His kick-off hands at half forward. Going to be a free kick to the Bays. Madden infringing there on the bigger McBean. McBean wants to play on, hands to White. Back to McBean. Umpire's whistle's gone though. And he's found a free kick down inside 50. So the Tigers will take this. It ends in the arms of Hosey. So this is dangerous stuff for Central. Hosey's kicked one today, already set another one up, and he can really cancel out that Central's goal if he's accurate with this kick. So Hosey, free kick inside 50, 30 out, straight in front, makes absolutely no mistake. The Bays get their first of the second term. They go to 5-4-34, lead back out to 24 points, 3.5 gone second term, and undisciplined stuff in the end there from the Doggies, costing them.
Yeah, and that's the ability. I mean, when you're a forward and you certainly got possession, 50 to 70 out, your preliminary movement off the ball is really important, because what that ends up doing for the defenders, it actually it forces them into confusion. They're trying to see where the ball's coming from, where are you, and if you get in and out behind them and all the rest of it, sometimes it lends itself for them to putting out an arm and grabbing a jumper. So he just put pressure on him before the ball arrived and drew the mistake from the defender.
That's good tackle by Sharon Berg on Fort, allowing it to go nowhere. Back in the middle. White in front position was good, won it down. Now chance for shot to put the Bays back towards half forward. Can get a great bounce there, Matt Nagel, but recovered nicely. Handball over the top to Fraser Fort, who kicked a goal earlier in this second quarter. Kicks towards half forward. Pisani. That was Lynn Pisani giving away the free kick in the contest with Joseph there. Joseph, the former Carlton player, goes back to Proud. Played in the state side last week for South Australia, Max Proud. One of the unsung defenders in the league, as he finds another quality contributor, Andrew Bradley, with the footy deep in defensive 50. Just chips it out here again to Proud. And Glenelg just taking their time, bringing it out from their defensive 50 arc. It's now with Motlop, who's happy to give Proud another touch. Proud will go across the face of goal and find the player there in shot, who's long kick to half back, well marked by Sharon Berg, over the top to Curran, off half back for the Bays. Curran launches a long straight kick right into the arms of Partington. He goes searching for Hosey, O'Gorman with him. Hosey almost traps it close to the line, does so in the end. Great work, Hosey, to White. Hooks it back. He's got a plethora of Bays players to choose from. And in the end, it's Reynolds who takes the grab, 35 out straight in front. But that was a great second, third, fourth effort from Hosey.
It was fantastic for him, and really good composure by Jesse White. But it came from, I suppose, the patience in defence. As they just knocked the ball around, they had guys who were working into little gaps. They used it short. They came one side out to the grandstand side, then they took it out the other side. And they were able to get some overlap from some guys who ran some hard 45s, and they found the spare, and they're able to work the ball up inside 50, and they're able to get a goal out of it.
Reynolds kicks his first. The Tigers, their second of this second quarter, They skip ahead 6-4-40, game high 30-point lead. Central's 1-4-10, 6.5 gone second term. That's the Williams refrigeration scoreboard. And we talk about some of the players there, guys like Hosey, guys like McBean, but can't forget Reynolds, a very fine goal kicker himself as he lands his first.
Yeah, he is, and he can lead up at it. And I mean, he's only 188 centimetres, but he does play a lot taller than that. But he's got really good vision, really good. He's a good field kicker as well as a set shot at goal. So he's a valuable player in this particular competition.
It's just testing the ball in the middle. If it's flat, I think we might have a flat footy on our hands. We do. So we're going to have to get a new one. Well, once upon a time that would have probably caused a bit of trouble, but these days, always a lot of footies around on hand behind the goals and on the bench, and a new one is found. And play can continue. 5 goals the Bays lead by. Strong start to this second quarter. Fort got the first for Central. Glenelg have got the next 2. As here is the aforementioned Fort driving Central to 50. Over everyone's head. Gould was good, but a little handball out. Flynn Pisani flicked it out for Central. Joseph working hard to shot. Shots high, kick back towards defensive 50. Trapped by Menzel. Darcy Pisani now. Bangs Central back inside 50. Bouncing football. Flynn Pisani with Joseph close to the line. Over they go. And that's a good matchup there with the youngster Flynn Pisani on debut, taking on the veteran Aaron Joseph.
Yeah, he's just got to start off, start making some tackles here, Flynn, and getting in it and keep presenting at the ball. And when it's kicked over his head, getting back to good crumbing positions and good tackling positions.
Menzel out of the ruck. Quick little kick. Trav Schiller could have been held on to. Got it back towards Darcy Pisani. Tight little shot towards the top of the goals. Curran was good. Handed off to Sharonberg. The Bays now out towards defensive 50. Knocked down. Umpires found a free. It's going the way of Glenelg. It's going to come here to Hosey. He's not afraid to roam around, Luke Hosey. Kicked a couple today. It's at half back now as he goes short. McCarthy with it. Defensive 50. Little underside, going to go backwards. And Proud, who always seems so cool under pressure, chips to Chalmers. And the Bays maintain possession as Chalmers finds Motlop. And Motlop's kick towards half forward. Coming through strongly. Snook couldn't complete the mark. Umpires found a free. Snook will take it. Just picks it up, grabs it, goes inside 50. Jew was up. And another free to the Tigers. And again, it's going to go the way of Hosey, who's run down inside 50. Wasn't long ago, was at centre half back. He's got this one now and will line up for his third.
Well, again, it was nice, calm ball movement from Glenelg, and they're not kicking over the man of the mark at all. They're just using the little short 45s and just knocking it to guys who are presenting up at the ball, change some lanes, use a little bit of width, keep going forward, and then they are able to get over the back, and that caused an issue for their defence. And Hosey,
he's just got it. He's just got it over the man on the line. Sort of a shallow sort of kick, but it just had enough. He's got 3 now, Luke Hosey. 1 in the first and 2 in the second, as he leads the way on the score sheet for the Bays. And they skip out to a 36-point lead on the Williams Refrigeration scoreboard at the 10-minute mark of this second term. And the Doggies, we've talked about their opportunities, the chances they've had. They really have to get a move on now to turn this around.
They're just a lot calmer with ball in hand, Glenelg, and they're able to assess, but they work quite hard off the ball, and guys just run into little gaps. They use little short kicks, no one between kicker and receiver, and then they're able to get out after just shifting the defence. But yeah, Hosey, he started off really well. I think that's 3, for him.
3 for Hosey, yep. Got those votes for 3-2-1 a bit later, Robbie. He's probably featuring fairly highly at the moment. As Hayden with a little handball over the top to Presbury. And now some run for the Dogs towards the wing. A low kick, diving attempt at a mark by Trav Schiller. Jew, who kicked it initially, came into support, got to Goodrum. And now Gillard with some dash, just shrugs off McBean. Handballs over the top to Flynn Pisani. His kick inside 50, Proud up. Disciplined punch for the boundary line. throw in the result. The Dogs inside 50 again, needing to make something out of this opportunity. But as you say, Robbie, Glenelg looks so much cleaner, so less hurried. The Dogs racing at 1,000,000 miles an hour as they went inside that 50.
Yeah, well, I think this stoppage will probably do them good. They got their last goal from a stoppage area, so this is where they can tackle, put some pressure, and the defenders can get a little bit of a rest behind the ball.
Menzel knocked it out to Jew, head down, charges towards the goal. Long kick, Hoskin wrestling at the back, knocked down. Through for a rush behind for Central. So that addition to the score, 35 points now the margin, 12 gone. Williams Refrigeration scoreboard. Gould back towards half-back. Hosey flew high, couldn't take it. Another chance for Central. Trav Schiller, nice little give out in front of Jew. Wheels around, right boot, just over the head of his Glenelg opponent, but it was taken by another Tiger player in Gould, who's tackled, and holding the ball is the call. A nice tackle there from Hoskin, and he'll get the kick tucked around in the pocket. It's not beyond him. Just to see what he looks to do. Does he look to pass off? From a Port Adelaide power rookie. Spent time with the Magpies in the SANFL. Found his way out to the Doggies, where he's been a wonderful footballer for them. And he's going to take the shot for the team lifting goal. Tucked around in the forward pocket. Hoskin brings it back, but nowhere near enough. Out of bounds on the full. Doggies just can't take a trick at the moment. They trail by 35 points. Glenelg wasting no time, bring it back in. Motlop's got it left back pocket. Chip short to Partington. And Glenelg seemingly with all the time in the world to clear this ball from their defensive zone. As Partington, a long kick out towards half-back. Off hands. Coming through Jared Schiller, but it's going to be a Doggies free kick. So we come back here to Darcy Pisani. Pisani now drives inside 50. Knocked down from Jyden Nagel. Glenelg again a chance as they work it out with handball. Motlop was good. Partington again comes towards half-back. Menzel traps it. Gets onto the left boot, hooks it back towards the members' wing, where Jew, who's got a bit of it lately for the Doggies, drives them inside 50. Good spoil, proud Presbury. Little handball out in front. Good work by Agnew there as Gillard fires out the handball. Presbury, it's hard work for the Dogs as they scramble another behind. The Williams Refrigeration scoreboard, they go to 1-6-12, Central 7-4-46, 14 gone, second term. And everything's just a real effort for the moment at Central in front of goal as they have a chance to go again. Fort got the handball back to Jenner. Brings it out wide towards the members' wing. And it's with McKenzie now. Not a lot on offer. McKenzie thought about going back with the short pass. Now we'll just have to go long. Does so, going to lob about 50 from goal. Getting up high there. Goodrum, in the end, he gave away the free kick. And McCarthy will take it deep in defence for the Bays. And he finds Scharenberg, who goes out towards the wing, wrestle on there. Little handball out from Gregson for the Tigers. Unable to get clean possession. And there'll be a ball up, 70 out from Central's goal. They've worked hard, Robbie, but they just haven't really looked like scoring. Even when they've gone inside 50, as we've commented on, they've been hurried and haven't finished well. Here's another chance. Darcy Pisani bangs it on the boot. Bouncing football. Gould knocked it down. Hoskin found room. Can he break the drought? Hoskin, he can. We mentioned what a dangerous player he can be, and that was on show with that goal to Hoskin. Much needed one to Central. 2-6-18 the Doggies. Glenelg 7-4-46. We've gone 16 second term, and Hoskin with an important goal showing his class.
Yeah, it was probably a little non-methodical. I mean, it took some, I suppose, some class and some just sheer competitiveness from Hoskin's perspective, and they got that goal. But yeah, you're right. Just touching on that point, John, where I think cases in the midfield, a lot of we use the term footy holding hands, and a lot of the Central's midfielders are just in close proximity to each other, especially on a held ball, and they're defended by one or two Glenelg players, and they're actually getting some numbers back behind the ball, and they're accelerating towards where they're outnumbered. So at the moment, they're just not giving themselves an advantage to be able to cash in on those inside 50 entries, which they're actually leading at the moment by about 3.
And it doesn't surprise. They've had a lot of it in this second term, but as you said, just not being able to make the most of it as Trav Schiller launches a long kick. Umpire's whistle is gone. It's a free kick coming back here to the Tigers.
In fact, John, it's 19 to 15 in favour of Centrals in terms of inside 50s, and you've got a scoreboard of 2-6 to 7-4.
So it's an interesting stat that when you look at, as you say, is the difference on the board. It's tells the story, that's for sure, as Glenelg go towards half forward and getting back and taking good defensive markers forward. He's been a bit of an everywhere man in this contest. Goes searching for Jyden Nagel. He's got it now under pressure. Gives to player in Jared Schiller. He's tackled by Partington. Ball squeezed out. Curran on the bottom of the pack. Working hard for the Tigers. Here's Partington again, always busy. But his kick lands in the arms of Harble. And he's away. Was a spotlight player in that first term, Harble. Kicks across the face and finds Barreau for the Dogs. 17.5 gone second term. Margin of 28 points in favour of the Tigers. They've led all game. And a free kick on this occasion to Central on their outer wing. Doggies fans not happy with the way the umpires have treated them. As they go back inside defensive 50 to Harble. Harble to Hayden, who works it around to Madden, and now at 25 I think is going to come back here to Hayden over the mark there, and he's away and running. He'll take that, kick to half forward, but it's not a good kick. Turnover, the Bays through Reynolds can get away now. Gregson comes down this member's wing. Good Mark McBean, too tall for everyone in that contest. Puts it out in front of Partington. He runs onto it. Quick little give to Reynolds. Over the top with the handball to Bailey. He's got one. Can he make it 2? No, he'll go short. And Motlop comes up with the footy. Left forward pocket, northern end. And Central had a chance, and they got the 25 and everything, but again the turnover, sloppy stuff, ends with Motlop having a shot for goal for the Bays.
Yeah, it was I think David Hayden, it was actually the right option. It was just his execution, and he just overcooked it. But then again, you look at the inside 50 entry for Glenelg, and it goes to Motlop, who just knocks it around the corner for a sausage.
Wonderful goal to Motlop. Did the old side-on stance and kicked it beautifully. A minute away from time on second term, the Bays take back their 5-goal-plus lead, 8-4-52, Central 2-6-18 on the Williams Refrigeration scoreboard. And too many times, I guess, we've seen Central make mistakes with their delivery, and too many times it's cost them in front of goal, and that was the case with Motlop getting his first.
Yeah, and really well played by Bailey and also Reynolds. They were just really calm, used each other. It was a 2v1, and then Motlop just led at the kicker, and Bailey was just able to lower his eyes and knock it to him, and Marlon did the rest.
Marlon Motlop with his first for the afternoon. Always dangerous around the ground and in front of goal. Just about to hit time on in this second quarter. Snoot wrestling for the football, got a little give out. And Marlon Motlop is in fact the player spotlight thanks to ACH Groups for the Tigers. Motlop the player spotlight, and here's another chance for the Bays as Bradley streaks towards goal and nails another one. Back-to-back goals to the Bays. They're out to a 40-point lead here at the Ponderosa as we hit time on in this second term, and Andrew Bradley joins the 7 players on the goal-kicking sheet.
Yeah, well, it's in danger of getting ugly here at the moment, and the Bays, especially if they nail another one, if they end up kicking sort of 3 goals in the last 2 or 3 minutes of this quarter, it could be really disheartening for Centrals, who have battled on and created chances, but it's just been their method going forward that's been, certainly been the difference in this game.
Another goal here, push that margin out to in excess of 7, closing in on 8 goals. It's going to be very tough for the Dogs as, well, Glenelg again break from the centre, high kick from Agnew. Central appealing for the free kick. Well, Reynolds has taken the mark. Jenner's not pleased, but the umpire is letting it go, and Reynolds will go back and line up for his second.
No, well, he just jumped and he took the grab fine. He actually didn't even use his arms. He jumped up a little early, and that was, if anything, that was probably the thing that made that look reasonably unorthodox. But he took the mark, Lou Reynolds, and he loves them from this position. He's generally a beautiful kick.
Reynolds to put the Bays in a very commanding position. No mistake at all with his second. Williams Refrigeration scoreboard, 22 gone second term. The Bays 10-4-64, Central 2-6-18. 46 points is the margin. Reynolds with a couple now, both in this quarter. Hosey with 3. We've also seen goals to Motlop, Bradley, Bailey, Scharenberg, Gregson. They're all getting on the goal sheet for the Tigers.
Well, we talked about that dangerous forward line that they have, but it's also too when some guys from between the arcs are getting down and getting involved as well. So players like Andrew Bradley especially, and Darcy Bailey, who does play as a higher forward, but their ball use going inside 50 has simply been, you know, so much on another level than Central's at the moment. Central's are trying so hard, but they just can't get on the board.
The Bays are looking like a top 2 side. Central are looking like a side who are struggling for their season, as Trav Schiller has it. Drives it towards 50, knocked down. Well crumbed by Jiden Nagel to Fort. Kicked the first goal of the quarter, the first goal of the game for the Dogs, and now Hoskin, their other goal scorer, pulls down the mark and may go back and just relieve a little bit of that pressure on the Dogs.
Yeah, I don't know whether there was just a little push here, but he certainly just used his hands to manoeuvre Will Good under the ball there, Hoskin. But he's been the shining light for the Dogs so far. Everything he's done has been absolutely fantastic. And I think without his efforts, I reckon they could be in dire straits, the Dogs.
Nails the goal, does Hoskin, his second. He so often is the man who does well for Central, whether they're winning or losing. And today, I totally agree. He's really kept them in the game. His second, Central's third. We checked out Williams Refrigeration scoreboard. Glenelg 10-4-64, Central's 3-6-24, back to 40 points, 23 and a half gone second term. Dogs just hanging in there.
13 possessions to Justin Hoskin, and he's kicked a couple of snags as well, so he's been absolutely fantastic in this first half for the Dogs, and probably almost single-handedly keeping them in touch, certainly on the scoreboard, but he's been absolutely fantastic in terms of his effort and intensity.
As McBean outpointed by Auckland on that occasion. Scharenberg taken high, will get the free. Hands off to Close. Took that screamer in the opening minute of the game. He kicks inside 50. Reynolds couldn't take it off hands. Dew was good to Barreau. Brings it back to half-back. Bradley pounces on it for the Tigers. Back inside 50. Again Barreau mopping up at the back. Finds Jared Schiller. Little chip kick, not a great one. Sets a task there for Gillard. He's up to it. Gets it over the top to Matt Nagel, who drives the ball towards half forward. Off hands. Doggies play there in good room, trying a little toe poke. In the end, he goes with the handball. Chance for Central now. Harbaloo was so good in the first term, inside 50. Joseph in front position, tackled by McKenzie. Bangs it on the boot. Umpire's found a free here, going the way of the Dogs. And it's going to be young Flynn Pisani, was crashed into in that contest.
It's an important inside 50 here for the Dogs just before half-time, so Flynn's has got to be calm.
Hands it off, and it's Menzel who will load them up inside 50. Joseph got up high, Hoskin front and centre took it, tackled to ground, ball the baseman scream. Umpire says, yep, ball it is, but it's my ball. We'll bowl it up, 30 out from the Doggies' goal. There's another one here. We just ease them that little bit further back into the contest. Might be a chance for Menzel, but across the face, one behind. Their 10th scoring shot, they go to 3-7-25. Glenelg 10-4-64. We're approaching the 26-minute mark of this second quarter. As Gould, state under-18 player, brings the footy back into play with a long, rangy kick out towards half-back. And a good mark pulled down by Auckland. Good pickup for Central this year after playing a couple of games with the Crows and the SANFL last season. Hands off to Harble. Inside 50. Fought off the ground. Right on the line, though, Bradley saves the day for the Tigers and rushes it through for a behind. So Glenelg wasting no time. Joseph in the back pocket. Chips it up to defensive 50. It's with Scharenberg, who's in no great hurry, and neither he should be. His side in a comfortable position, closing in on half-time. Getting up high there, unable to pull it down, Auckland. Central a chance, though. Presbury shoveling it out. Gillard tackled, banged it on the boot. Tigers can turn it over. But again, good pressure on shot with the tackle. But Glenelg keep pressuring. Motlop to close, to shot. Chalmers now. Handballs into the middle of the ground. It's with Betterman. Betterman's kick towards 50. Partington was very good. Streaks away and nails the goal. Just lost sight of him there for a second, but Partington always finishes well and did so on that occasion. He becomes the Bay's 8th goal scorer. They're 5th in this second term, and they take back that ascendancy on the Williams Refrigeration scoreboard, closing in on half-time. The Bay's 11-4-70, Central's 3-8-26. A margin there of 44 points.
Was this through a little chain of handball where they were able to move the ball almost diagonally across the oval, and then they end up getting some overlap, and Luke Partington was a beneficiary out of all of it, being able to run into an open goal, no one pressing at him, and he's a beautiful kick on the run, Pardo, and he nailed it. But again, we had Centrals have a number of inside 50 opportunities again, but again, wasteful.
Wasteful, and in the end, the Tigers really at 44 points. 46 was their biggest lead. They've really maintained their advantage. It's the ball at half back for Glenelg, half forward for Central. The Doggies through Trav Schiller. Inside 50, nice kick and a nice mark by the diving Jyden Nagel. Looks up. What's he got on offer? Harble's run down. Spoiled at the last second, recovers. Bassani comes in, Gillard too. He's tackled by close is Gillard, and the ball held in just inside 50 for the Doggies. 28, almost 29 gone in this second quarter. From the restart, Scharenberg fired at the handball. Agnew couldn't pick it up. Harble head down, came barging through. Trav Schiller was good. Got it back towards Harble. His handball under pressure missed the target as the players piling in. Madden on the bottom, McBean on top of him, and a ball up results. 70 out from Central's goal. Glenelg by 44 points. They desperately don't want the Doggies to score, and they want to take that big advantage into half-time as Chalmers finds Bradley. And Bradley pops it up out wide as Curran's got it. Bradley, Curran, Proud as well. Some great defenders for the Tigers as McCarthy off half-back to Motlop, to Chalmers. Bradley involved again. Little kick out wide. Missed the intended target of McBean, and in the end it will roll out of play for a free kick to the Dogs, I feel. As we're not far from the half-time break. Now it will be a boundary throw-in. Ball at half forward for the Tigers. Just looking at the Williams Refrigeration scoreboard. Glenelg 11-4-70, Central 3-8-26. We've hit the 30-minute mark in this second term. From the restart, ball squeezed out. Central a chance. Flynn Pisani was good. Got it to brother Darcy, and there in fact is the half-time siren. So Glenelg will take that 44-point advantage in as a bit of a scuffle off the ball at half-time. A few frayed tempers here at the Ponderosa. Players from both sides converging on the action. 11-4-70 the Bays. 3-8-26 Central. That's the half-time score. Security personnel hovering. Umpire trying to push everyone away. It's interesting because it didn't seem to be about much, Roy, but they're really getting into it.
Yeah, it's just like chucking in a little jiffy lighter at half time, isn't it? I mean, that could happen at any stage of the quarter, everyone just moves on, but it's always magnified at half time when everyone's got a bit of a break and the umpire can't throw the ball up to split them up, I suppose. So, all the boys, go in and have a drink, boys, and that's probably and get your heart rate down. It's probably the best advice I could give you.
Those with long memories who support these two teams remember the 1984 qualifying final at Footy Park between these two sides when the mother of all brawls broke out. Worse than this one, but this one had a bit of feeling, I tell you that much, as they do now head for the sheds. The Doggies and Glenelg, as you look at the goal scorers to half-time, thanks to your local Telstra stores for both sides, the goal scorers will start with the Tigers, and it's 3 to Hosey, 2 to Reynolds, singles then to Sharonberg, Motlop, Bailey, Partington, Bradley and Gregson. That's thanks to Telstra Store Glenelg, helping your small business thrive as the Tigers head down the race for the Doggies, thanks to their local Telstra stores who are committed to supporting the local community. 3 goals, all in that second term, 2 to Hoskin and 1 to Fort. It's been an interesting game at times, when the Bays have been on the run, flowing nicely, a very entertaining game, Robbie, but really, as we close in at half-time, the Tigers take a strong and deserved 44-point lead into that main break.
Yeah, and again, Central's are 24 to 23 up and inside.
They've got that support. Their senior teammates are playing well, and it allows them to just flow freely and play their own game.
Well, there's a number of players that are in the Glenelg team that have certainly been full-time footballers over the last few years, whether it's McBean, Jesse White, Luke Partington, Corey Gregson. So they're able to offer that extra coaching on the field in terms of being smart, but also, during the week, which is really important, their contribution to reviews and all the rest of it, and obviously Mark Stone's from the AFL system as well. So they know what works really well, and certainly for the team that they've got as well. So no, I just think they're just more in control of the situation, and the Dogs have just got to keep battling away, but hopefully they learn from the opposition that they're playing against.
Mark Stone would be very pleased. I mentioned a couple of the young guys there, but of course, you're quite right, Robbie, when you point out they're young, but they've played guys like Gregson, guys like Partington have played AFL, so they're what you'd almost call young veterans these days. It's from the restart. No one can quite get possession. The umpire has found a free. And it's going to come back here to the Doggies, and they'll get the first break of the second half as Jared Schiller looking to start something perhaps for Central. Loads it long to 50, but getting back, taking a very good defensive mark there is Proud for the Bays. He goes towards the outer wing, finds a teammate, Betterman. Just a little chip kick, right idea, but a good spoil by Barrow there on Hosey. Ball close to the line. Darcy Pisani got it up to Jared Schiller, Goodrum, and now it's with Trav Schiller, whose kick finds Flynn Pisani. Back to Trav Schiller, little chip kick, little short kick. Mark 55 from goal by Menzel. Looking for more from him in this second half. The Dogs with Troy Menzel as he kicks them inside 50, but the Bays defenders all over that. They knock it down, but the crummer in Mackenzie from nowhere snaps on the goal and just away to the left through for the first score of the second half. A minute gone, third quarter. Glenelg 11-4-70. Central go to 3-9, and the margin down to one of 43 points as the Tigers waste no time, bring it back in. Curran caught behind, fisted it down. Good take there by Harble. Well tackled. And the umpire will ball it up half forward for the Doggies. A slightly more positive start in the opening couple of minutes to Central, but then they kicked the first goal of the second quarter, and from there it was all the Bays. We don't want to get too excited as Harble knocking it out. Jew there working hard at ground level against his Glenelg opponent in Gregson. Another ball up results at about half forward for Central. Fort and White wrestling in the ruck. Fort trying to milk a free. Came out towards close. He was wrapped up by a couple of Doggies. And another ball up. Soa cautious start to the second half. Few stoppages as White slaps it down. And again, we see a ball up at that left half forward region. Northern end for Central, the end that they are kicking to. As Giant Eagle dives on the footy, Scharenberg took possession. Bradley in there. Footy's going nowhere, ball up again.
This is where it can get dangerous. It's a 3v3 in front of the footy for Glenelg there. If they lose this stoppage here, Centrals, it could just open it up a little bit.
High kick from Partington. Back towards half forward for the Bays. Knocked down though and out of play in front of the interchange gates. And another boundary throw-in as distinct to a ball up will be the result. We're at about half forward now for the Bays. It was just one high kick from Partington, but it gained some useful meterage. So again, sort of just lying against White, almost playing for the free. White comes up with it. He's crashed to the ground in the tackle. And another stoppage. Just a 1 point to Central, taking that half-time margin of 44 to 43. Still well in control. The Bays is close to the line. Bradley couldn't keep it in, and the ball up results.
Well, the last two stoppages for a player who's had almost 20 possessions, Luke Partington's had no body contact on him at all. He's just run just a little route every time, just around the ruckman.
One down in the ruck by White. Jared Schiller had it, lost it. Kick was partially smothered. He goes in again, shovels out the handball to Fort. The umpire's whistle had blown, and we see another ball up. Twirls at Skyward. Slapped down by White. Bradley head over the football. Harbour with him. In the end, the ball finds its way out of play. 4.5 gone, third term. Glenelg 11,470. Central's 3,927. Williams Refrigeration scoreboard. Glenelg well in control of this contest, as they have been throughout the day. White just palms this one down. Handball came out from Snook to Partington. He hooked it back to 50. Up high, Reynolds couldn't complete the mark. Tackle on close there. And the umpire again will ball up at 50 for the Tigers. They've slowly but surely eked it forward, Glenelg. White wins it down to Scharenberg. Back to Partington. Ever dangerous. His handball missed the target on that occasion. Diving in there, Bradley sort of tunnel balled it out. Throw was the cry. Umpire agreed. And the Doggies a chance to clear now through Goodrum. He's got a defensive 50. Just chips to back towards half back, where Fort takes the mark. I mentioned earlier, kicked the first goal of the second quarter for the Dogs. Long way from home on this occasion. Nice vision though, spots Trav Schiller. Centimetres inside the boundary. On this grandstand wing, he goes back towards Hayden. To Jew, back over the top to Hayden. In the middle of Elizabeth Oval, Hayden jukes and jives, little kick. Flynn Pisani was good, off to Schiller. Schiller's long kick, Hoskin has kicked a couple, wrestling with his opponent. Can't get it at ground level. Grim defence from the Bays as the handball comes out to Bradley, and he'll scoot away. Goes looking there for Partington, knocked away from him. Curran was good to Proud. And the Bays now bring it back towards half-back, where Gregson takes the mark. For the moment they rebound, but only momentarily as the mark fumbled. Curran comes in, his kick smothered. Luxor Fortune, though, ends up with Bradley. Little chip kick, Motlop. Trapped it nicely. Gets right on the right boot. Wobbly kick towards half forward. Went past the intended target there of Betterman. McKenzie was good for Central. Got it up to Hayden, who chips to Jew at defensive 50. Jew goes short back to Hayden. And the ring around the rosy continues as Hayden chips to half back, where Presbury's got it. Half back's dominant for both sides at the moment. Just neither side can really get it past that line, as the kick down the wing from Presbury finds Pisani. This is Darcy Pisani. Gets around his Bay opponent, drives towards 50, but getting back and taking a saving mark, as he so often did in that first quarter. It's Will Gould. As he goes short to Bradley. 7 gone, third quarter, 43 points the margin in favour of the Tigers. Only the one behind this term, and that was to the Dogs. As Glenelg have possession on this members wing. In no hurry to really get things going. Short pass there, finding Bradley. Still tight on the boundary. It's just not anyone really an option at the moment as the kick towards the pack at half 40 came running through from the back there. White and took the mark. He chips it up. The Dogs, though, good in defence. Knock it down. Chance to clear through Gillard. Gillard off half back, kicks towards half forward for Central. Can Trav Schiller trap it? He does. Goes backwards with the handball to Hoskin. Hoskin now from the outer wing. Launches a long kick to 50. Menzel there with Proud. Proud got it to Scharenberg. He'll get it back in the 1-2, Proud. Chip it across the face of goal. Pinpoint perfect, finds Bradley. Right back pocket. Bradley now towards the half-back line with his kick. Sets a task there for Partington. Pressured all the way by McKenzie. Partington had it. Pisani tackled him. Should be ball, not the call. In the end, Partington got it out there to Gregson, and he was taken over. So it's tight and tough in the clinches. At the moment, not a lot of ground being made by either side, and certainly no addition on the scoreboard. Glenelg won't mind that, but Centrals, they need to get something going and get something going pretty quick.
Yeah, certainly time's running out. I mean, there hasn't been much. There's been a lot of footy between the arcs, especially the last 5 minutes. As the ball goes out of bounds again. But, yeah, I like when Centrals have had the ball, they've actually tried to honour the lead up, but the defending of the high ball, Glenelg, has been really impressive today. I think they've just got to keep continuing, hitting the lead up. Flynn Pisani's actually got to end on the end of a couple as well, and I think if they just continue with that, I think it's going to lead to something. Certainly, going by the method that they've had up until half-time certainly isn't going to work.
Scharenberg's kick towards half-forward. Bay player couldn't take the mark, the Dogs. Handball was wayward, and also not a great one. Picked up by Bailey. Long kick to Hosey, trapped it on the bounce. Good vision, hooked it back, and McBean marked it. 25 out, straight in front. Once again, a great individual effort by Hosey, and Glenelg had numbers back there. That was the key. McBean, Reynolds, they were there. And now it's the former who will take the shot on goal.
Just showed some great agility, Lockie Hosey. First of all, to turn his opponent around to get out the back, but then to be able to turn and kick off minimal steps too, and just square himself up and give Liam McBean the opportunity to have a shot from goal from about 15 metres directly in front.
Kicked a lot of goals today, the Bays, but McBean hasn't been among the goal scorers. He is now. His first. To start the second half positively for the Bays. They're out to a game-high 49-point lead, 10.5 gone, third term on the Williams Refrigeration scoreboard. It's Glenelg, 12-4, 76, Central's 3-9, 27, and that goal, the first of the quarter, thanks to Bone Timber, and they are a proud sponsor of the Bays and a fifth-generation family business. But yeah, McBean's been good today, Robbie, but that was his first major.
Yeah, his movement of the ball is really good. He does set up his defender to fail. He'll lead up, but then he'll get in behind. He's prepared to push up, especially on a held ball from a bailout and just form a contest. But he's very important in terms of his movement in bringing guys like Hosey and Reynolds and even the smaller forwards into play.
The Bays through Agnew towards half forward. Reynolds had it. Tackled, lost it. Jutra a streak away. Close got him, holding the ball. Great tackle by Close. And he'll take the free at half forward. Just those little things for the Bays, working the way they quick tackle on Jew, keeping the ball in their zone, in their 50 as Close goes towards the leading Hosey. Fort takes the mark though for the Dogs. They can rebound as Fort goes out wide. It's with Gillard. Half back, out of side, he chips down the wing towards Menzel. Proud knocked it down, but Menzel recovered, had time, hooks it back, and a good grab taken there by Flynn Pisani, the debutant. Was with Tea Tree Gully last year in the Adelaide Football League. He kicks towards 50. Gillard caught behind, knocked it down. Chalmers hooks the handball back to Curran. Good tackle by Jiden Nagel. Holding the ball, the cry. Holding the ball, the call from the umpire. And Nagel of the Jiden variety will get the free, tucked around in the right forward pocket. Not overly confident about taking the shot. He's right in front of that scoreboard, which shows Glenelg up by a game high 49 points. Jiden Nagel, the oldest of the Nagel boys, the Wodonga products. His kick across the face, still alive. Gould it was who got a handball out. Quick kick from Proud, last line of defence. Reynolds was up, knocked away from him. Scharenberg, quick kick towards the wing. Bouncing football, O'Gorman for mine was out of bounds by about 2 metres, and that was the call. And they'll bring it back for a boundary throw-in. But, yeah, the Bay still well in control. They're getting chances like we saw there to Jiden Nagel, Robbie, but they're tough ones. They're kicks from the boundary. And they're just not the easy ones that Glenelg seem to manufacture so well.
Yeah, and look, I think it was Gillard, again, just inside 50. Nagel was having the shot. He actually had his defender goal side of him. He actually could have pushed off him and came back at the kicker, a little 16-metre kick, and then he would have had a shot at goal, but he didn't recognise that situation. The Central's players stood in spots where they could possibly receive, but they were just too easy to defend. They just stood still like statues and didn't challenge the defence and create a bit of chaos around them. They didn't actually identify the situation that could have occurred and had a shot on goal.
Ball up at 50 for the Dogs. Umpire's whistle has gone. Free kick coming here to Hoskin. Well, this is well within range for Hoskin. Right on 50, I know, but it is within range. He's kicked 2 today. They need something, the Doggies, some sort of spark. If all this game just totally slips away and it becomes a battle of percentages. Hoskin, I tell you what, it's a very, very nice kick from Hoskin. That might be the spark to at least perhaps keep them in the contest. 14 gone third quarter. Hoskin with goal number 3 this afternoon. 3 of Central's 4. They go to 4-9-33. Glenelg 12-4-76. It's a long road to hoe from here for the Dogs, Robbie, but that must give them some inspiration as Hoskin again leading from the front.
No, he's been certainly a shining light for the Dogs, John. He's been an absolute ripper, but again, it took a Herculean effort for him to kick it from outside 50. Not a lot of method there, but just even off the ball. I think he was even looking to shape to perhaps pass, but everyone was just standing in front of the kicker, just wandering around, standing in space, not actually asking any questions of the defence, not causing any chaos behind the player on the mark and spitting someone out. They were just standing there watching, hoping he'd kick it through.
As from the restart, Trav Schiller couldn't quite get it. Motlop was good. So Partington, who's been one of the Bay's best for mine. Umpire's whistle is gone, and the ball's coming back here. Free kick to the Tigers. Looks like White's going to get it. No, Partington. Thought about the handball for a second. Now we'll go back. We can play on, in fact, Partington, and does so. Kicks towards 50 for the Bays. Through the hands of Hosey. He recovers nicely, though. He's well tackled. Oh, nice little handball out in front of Bailey. Toe poked it inside 50. Not able to get clean possession. Banging it on the boot there, McKenzie. Back towards the boundary. And in the end, it's jostled over the line for a throw-in.
He's just starting to get into the play, Flynn Pisani. He's taken a couple of marks on lead-ups and he's been busy. He's just laying a couple of tackles now, so he's just started getting into the game now.
Very promising-looking young player, as is Darcy. I think they're good additions to this Doggy squad. As Schiller head over the ball, that was Trav. Now here's Darcy Pisani. 3 sets of brothers in the Central side today. The Pisanis, the Nagels and the Schillers as the kick from O'Gorman towards the wing. Handball came out the back to Joseph. And Glenelg can come again towards half forward. Joseph's kick a bit wayward. Almost a mark to the runner there. And a free kick to the Doggies and Trav Schiller. He just chips it in short. And finds the veteran Trent Goodrum. In his 13th SANFL season, he goes back towards Barrow. And now Madden, the former Port Adelaide Magpie, had a few years out of the SANFL. Bobbed up with Central last season. He kicks nicely to Darcy Pisani, back to Barrow. From defensive 50, launches the kick towards Flynn. Pisani, on that occasion, outmarked by Joseph. Joseph, long, strong kick. Oh, Hosey! What a mark! It's been a day for the big grabs here at Elizabeth. And Hosey, as always, on the lookout, takes the mark, hits the ground, unselfishly passes to McBean, who'll line up for his second. But what a grab from Hosey, Robbie Neal.
He's a certain talent, and he was lucky he didn't kick it into the man of the marker. He just sort of knocked it over to his teammate, which was fantastic, but could have been all undone there.
Yes.
Madden could have got a hand on it, but absolutely fantastic jump by Hosey, and he's bringing it all today, and it's just his work. He's giving opportunities to his teammates as well. It's been absolutely fantastic.
And McBean kicks his second, and the Bays go out in excess of a 50-point lead. They go to 13-4-82. Central's 4-9-33. So in fact, it's just back to that 49 point. I don't get too far ahead of myself, but it's a commanding lead nonetheless. 18 gone third term. And yeah, Hosey always on the move. We said that in that first quarter. He'll take the mark, he'll hit the ground, he's looking around, what's going on. And on that occasion, he got it over the top to McBean, who gets his second. And Glenelg, well, looking very strong at the moment.
It was interesting, just on that exit, Centrals were just left, I'm not sure who had a held ball there, but all his support was about 60 metres away. He had no one to kick to. They were just so far away, they wouldn't move down the ground and get into the areas Glenelg do to help connect between defence and midfield. They were just so far separated, and they almost turned it over to Darcy Pisani, but it ended up in a goal in the end for Glenelg at the end of it.
Bays go forward through Partington. It's been a bit of, that's the story today, really. Central just out of position too often, not being where they need to be. I'm not the expert, but I know you've said that a lot and you've spotted it well, and it's just hurt their game in general.
Yeah, it has, and it's just when you see Glenelg move it out of defence, they're able to have guys who spread on the 45. Here's Partington
and
again with another shot.
Goal across the face.
But the connectivity is just there, John. They're able to link in waves and all the rest of it. But where we had a held ball with a player probably about 30 metres out from their defensive goal, and no one within 60 metres to go to, and was almost left isolated with three Glenelg players defending the space he really wanted to use the footy in.
Bays by 50 points. We're about to hit time on in this third quarter. The Doggies with the footy in the left back pocket. Well, bring it out here towards defensive 50. Presbury was up, knocked away from him. Quick kick though there from Harble. Back towards the wing. Travis Schiller, the player spotlight in this quarter for the Doggies there. SA Power Networks, an iconic SA organisation sponsoring that player spotlight, as Presbury can put Central towards half forward. Here's a chance for Jyden Nagel. He runs to 50, unloads, and it's Hoskin on the goal line who takes the mark. He's just outside of the goal square, frustratingly for him, so he'll have to go around on the angle. But a good bit of play, more direct from Central, may result in a goal to Hoskin. He's lining up for his fourth. He runs around and kicks the goal. So 4-2 Hoskin. The Doggies bring the margin back to 44 points. That was the half-time margin. Glenelg 13-5-83. Central's 5-9-39. 21 gone third term, and Hoskin again keeping them in the game with his fourth.
Yeah, that's his 17th possession in his kick four, so he's been a wonderful player up until three-quarter time for the Dogs. And we mentioned Travis Schiller before. He's had 24 disposals and about 6 for this quarter. So he's been absolutely wonderful. But Luke Partington and John D. Scharenberg's been another one who's been super clean around the contest for Glenelg. And at times you don't notice some of the things he actually does. He just cleans the ball up. He gives them the grass so quickly and provides so much ball for his outsiders. Here he is again.
Back in the middle, yeah. He's been very good. Partington launching the long kick inside, 50 for the Tigers. In front, Madden, he'll take that. Had to juggle it, but had control. So 44 points with that goal to Hoskin, the lead back to for the Bays. As I said, that was the half-time margin. As O'Gorman goes short to Presbury. He'll go back to O'Gorman. Central just chipping it round. But yeah, Partington's been wonderful today for the Tigers in a game where they've had many good players. He's almost been a standout as the footy with Jared Schiller, knee heavily strapped. 60 from his defensive goal, kicks down the wing over the head of the intended targets close to the line and out of play for a throw-in. 22 and a half gone in the quarter.
Luke Partington's up to 26 possessions and he's kicked 1 goal, 2 for the day. So he's had 16 kicks and 10 handballs.
The way he's going, we're looking at sort of a 35 possession game. Keep an eye on that as Trav Schiller, who has been good for the Dogs, back to brother Jared, shovels it out only as far as Scharenberg. Now Hosey pops it over the top. Chance there for shot. Long kick, searching for, nearly finding Reynolds. Ground level Goodrum tackled, disposed of. Reynolds in there, fired out the handball. Jenner was good. O'Gorman's got it. He can clear out towards half back. Fort was sandwiched between a couple, but Hoskin came through from the side and took a good mark for the Dogs. So Hoskin with a couple to choose from. Mark taken by Jyden Nagel. Pops it up over the top. Harble there. Bradley traps it. Harble pressuring him all the way. McKenzie as well. In the end, though, Gregson gets it up to Joseph, tackled. Trying to find Partington with the handball, but it was a good tackle. And the Doggies get the free. They waste no time going towards 50. Not a great kick in the end. Tigers under pressure, though, still in defence. Menzel tackles Gould. Did he get it out in time? He did. Auckland slung around in the tackle. Ball jarred free. Close. Knocked it up to Curran, who was tackled to ground. Some intense tackling going on. And the Doggies appear to have won the free through Menzel.
Oh, it was a couple of great tackles from Troy Menzel. That was absolutely fantastic. And you made the first one, holding the ball wasn't paid, but the second effort, absolutely brilliant. That was great intent from a senior player as well.
So Menzel for his first, the Doggies 6th for back-to-back goals. They would win the quarter if he kicks a score here, Menzel. He starts it out to the right, going to lob in front of the goals. Off hands, no one could take it. Socked through, was it by Gillard? No. Off hands through for a behind. So margin to 43 points, 5-10, 40, 13-5, 83. 25 gone third term, and Glenelg well in control, but it's been a better quarter scoreboard-wise from Central, but only just. And they're coming from a fair way back, so it is a lot of work to do as Curran chips to Joseph. Still in that defensive zone.
Inside 50 still favour Centrals by 1, 32-31, John.
It is a very interesting stat when you consider the margin at 43 points. One stage as high as almost, up as high as 50 points. Chance for Glenelg, 25-metre penalty. As the Bays have it now through Joseph from half-back. Long kick towards the wing. Reynolds up, couldn't take it. Little give out from Reynolds, taken by Close. Goes back to Bradley. Bradley handballs into open space. Duke was good. Goes backwards. Proud's got it at half-back for the Tigers. Proud towards the outer wing. He finds Partington, who's been so good for Glenelg today. Nearing 30 touches as we near three-quarter time. In fact, there is the three-quarter time. Sorry, I don't think that kick will count. There's perhaps just a second after, but he's had an excellent game today for the Tigers as Luke Partington. It's been a good display for Glenelg for three quarters, and at the final change, they lead Central 13-5-83. The Doggies 5-10-40, a margin there of 43 points on the Williams Refrigeration scoreboard. It was after the Bays led by 44 points at half time. So a better quarter in terms of, I guess, on the scoreboard just by Central, but Glenelg still well and truly in control as we look at the goals for the two teams. Thanks to the Telstra stores for the Doggies. Hoskin has 4 and Fraser Fort just the 1. They're their goal scores, while for Glenelg, also thanks to Telstra stores there at Glenelg, we have 3 to Hosey, 2 to Reynolds and McBean. And
some clear points that they wanted to just to ensure they were all clear of before going into battle again, and get out there and do it, players, and yeah, maybe perhaps tap into a bit of round 2 and see if we can get some centre clearances, get some inside 50 entries when it's 6 on 6, and let's sort of put the Bays under a little bit of pressure.
We both saw that round 2 contest, and Norwood 40-odd points up at the final change. Central came within a whisker of pinching it. It was a warm day like it is today. Norwood have put in a lot of effort in the first 3 quarters as the Bays have today. You just never know. We'll, I guess, see from the early moments of this final quarter if that's on the cards. But if Glenelg do get the first goal, that match in their memories, it will be interesting to see where if they do lift. A lot of work to do, no doubt about that. Tigers in position now. They're ready to go. And we are set for a start in this final quarter at Ex-Convenience Oval, Elizabeth. As White leaps high, but it's the Dogs who get it through Schiller to Menzel. Menzel's kick inside 50, bouncing ball. Presbury knocked it on to McKenzie. McKenzie for the first goal of the quarter. Oh, just away to the left. Doggies fans are out of their chairs, but just away to the left and behind the result. 42 points the margin on the Williams Refrigeration scoreboard. And there it was, Robbie, almost the first goal for the term in the first 30 seconds. But Bradley's kick a good one towards half back. But it's Menzel who comes up with it for the Dogs. Fort, hands off to Jenner. Here comes Central again. This is Flynn Pisani handing off to Harble, back there, looking for but not finding Jyden Nagel. But Darcy Pisani touched off the boot. He thought he'd got it with the snap.
It's a free kick.
It's a free kick, though. The umpires found a free kick off the ball going the way of Goodrum. So everything's happening. Opening minutes of this last quarter here at Elizabeth.
I reckon Nagel's going to take.
Well, Nagel did have it originally. You're quite right, Robbie. Nagel did have it originally. It spilled out to Pisani. He snapped, but that was touched. But Nagel obviously infringed in the contest. And so Jyden Nagel with the footy for the first goal of the final quarter to give Central a bit of a sniff. Wobbly kick, but a straight kick. And the Doggies do indeed get the first goal of this term. 90 seconds in, they go to 6-11-47. Glenelg 13-5. That is 83. And that goal for Central is thanks to Ex-Convenience Oval with the first goal of the final term. And as we discussed at three-quarter time, Robbie, maybe that just gives them some slight hope.
Well, it all came via centre clearance and being able to get it inside 50 quickly, and McKenzie was almost going to be able to kick that goal. But, yeah, we're at 6v6. Glenelg obviously after defence, they can't get their wingers back quickly, and, yeah, if they can get it in these centre clearances, it's going to be really important because that's what they did against Norwood.
Back in the middle, slapped down. Here they go again. Schiller, little handball to Menzies. Menzel, should I say. His high kick marked by Snook, though, at half-back. Goal and a point to start the term for the Glenelg side. Margin 36 points. Kick towards half-4 where McBean too tall and strong, despite the opposition. He kicks towards 50. Hosey there, 2 to beat. Couldn't take it. Was infringed and will get the free. So Hosey at half forward for the Bays. Loads it up, kicks to the pocket, caught behind there, but in the end a good mark to Reynolds. Got caught in behind Jenner, but kept his eye on the ball. Bit of height on the Hosey kick, and Reynolds completes the grab. So to answer immediately the Central goal, Reynolds will line up for the Tigers. Push that margin back to one of 7 goals. Bit lackadaisical, but he's done it all right. The kick from Reynolds, and that margin back out to 7 goals for the Bays as Reynolds gets his third 2 in the second, 1 in this fourth quarter. A quarter which has been going for 3.5 minutes. And a lead now on the Williams Refrigeration scoreboard to the Tigers, back out to 42 points.
Well, the turnover, and unfortunately for Troy Menzel, it was probably the opportunity for him to actually get it in deep, or as long as he could to even numbers. But he went the short option. It was intercept marked, and as the ball worked up. But well done by Luke Reynolds as well, a natural left footer. It was just nice and casual there on the right, and was able to kick it pretty easily.
He did in the
natural
end.
Left footer. Absolutely fantastic.
It was very good. He looked quite relaxed, as I said. I thought he was almost a bit too relaxed. As Fort now towards 50 for Central. Chalmers knocks it down, gets the handball to Joseph. To Gould, out in front of Curran, the skipper. Under pressure from Mackenzie, Curran gets the clearing kick, and Scharenberg takes the grab. Jonty Scharenberg finds Snook, and Snook just hands it off, and Betterman, little short pass, finds the big man in McBean. McBean to Motlop, back to McBean. He wheels around on the left boot, inside 50. Jenner, though, the stumbling block for the Dogs, takes the saving grab, pops it back, finds Fort. Fort links up nicely with Jew, goes to Hoskin, who's kicked 4 of the Doggies, 6 goals, Hoskin. Little handball over the top to the debutant, Flynn Pisani. He's showing something to Presbury. Hooks it back towards Hoskin. He gave it everything he had, but he couldn't quite get to it before it went out of bounds. So it should be, I think, a free kick here to the Bays at half-back. It will be, once they retrieve the ball. And Will Gould, he's got a bit of it today. As we said, very busy in the first quarter with some nice saving marks in defence. It's a long ball back towards the wing. Getting up in front, Fort. He was infringed by McBean. He'll get the free.
He's pointing the wrong way, surely.
He is pointing the wrong way, but Fort has it to Menzel. And play continues. Menzel's kick towards 50, knocked down. Rolls back. Nice little handball out there from Nagel to Trav Schiller, to Goodrum, back to Trav Schiller. And now Hoskin again. Always lurking. He's got Jaden Nagel, and he finds him.
It's a wonderful take from the shoelaces by Hoskin, but then to have the composure just to knock it over and find Nagel's absolutely brilliant. He's had a fantastic day, Justin Hoskin. It's been outstanding.
So Jaden Nagel, who kicked the first goal for the Doggies of this quarter, can get his second. And again, bring the margin back to 1 of 6 goals. Tucked around in the pocket. Goes at it very deliberately with the right boot. I tell you, that's a nice looking kick, but just missing to the right. Through for a behind. 41 points the lead on the Williams Refrigeration scoreboard to the Bays. They've been pretty dominant today, but Central just hanging in there. They've refused to let the Bays really run away with this one. But it's hard to see Glenelg not notching a comfortable win from here as Gould's kick. McBean couldn't complete the mark. Ball at ground level. Dogs pressuring. Goodrum fired at the handball. Umpire's whistle had gone. And the free's coming back here to Goodrum. He hands off to Matthew Nagel, who kicks inside 50. Fort made space. Bouncing footy taken by Gillard. Snaps back at the goal. Great goal, Gillard. Central get their 7th. 7-12-54. Glenelg 14-5, 89, 7.5 gone, final quarter. And Gillard, he's had his ups and downs today, Robbie, but that was a fantastic goal.
It was a wonderful individual effort. His handball supporter just got past him, and so he was left to twist quite tightly on his right foot, so he could just get a bit of leverage from his left, and he just snapped that over his right shoulder. It was a wonderful kick, got great connection on it, and it's just given the Dogs another opportunity to try and eat into this this margin that they currently are chasing, 35 points, and it's certainly doable. They were able to do it against Norwood.
They need a couple of real quick ones, and that would really lift them. I reckon if they bang 2 on in the next 3 or 4 minutes, suddenly it's under 4 goals with probably about a good 15 minutes of play left, and just watch the crowd lift if that happens. Hoskin up in the ruck now, wins it down. Snook has it held to him by Goodrum. Ball up the result. White against the young Auckland. The umpire waits and watches, now throws it up. Again, Hoskin goes up. Again, it goes to Snook. And again, we see a ball up. As White works his way into the front, knocks it to Close. Close's kick towards 50. Barrow, nearly a great mark to the youngster. McBean into open space. Barrow was good to Hayden. To Madden, no real room for error here for the Dogs as Presbury's got it at half back. High kick back towards this wing position. 2-on-1, knocked down by the Tigers. Trav Schiller was good. Now it's Matt Nagel away and running. Has a bounce, has another. Partington trying to shut him down. Well done, Matt Nagel, got around him. Has a third bounce, runs to 50. Can he finish? Menzel!
Oh,
great individual effort by Matt Nagel, but Menzel's taken the mark. And he can now go back, wants to play on, runs around and kicks the goal for the Doggies. It's a 29-point ball game. We've gone almost 10 minutes in this final quarter. That's exactly what the Doggies needed as Menzel boots his first for the afternoon.
Yeah, Matty Nagel was able to take it on, and his legs were absolutely spent by the time he got to the 50. But the length of I suppose the run between the arcs, he was able to get it closer to 50 and get a deep entry, which brought Troy Menzel into play. There were a couple of one-on-ones deep, and Troy Menzel had the talent to be able to pull down the grab and then run around on his left foot and snap truly. But, yeah, the Doggies are getting closer. One more from this centre bounce. John, interesting. It's game on.
It is indeed. We mentioned this moments ago. If they get another one, it's under 4 goals.
Or anticlimax.
With probably about 15 minutes to go. The ultimate anticlimax, I think, is they have to come back and have the tertiary ball up. But umpire does that nicely. White wins it down. Where are the central midfielders? Pisani. That's Darcy Pisani. Barged his way through the young man. Got a handball out. Bradley there. Shoveled it back towards Joseph. Now Chalmers. They need cool heads, the Bays. Partington just pops it up. Pisani racing in there. Darcy Pisani. The ball squirts out the back. Bailey couldn't quite pick it up. Hoskin could for the Dogs. To Harble. Now Big Auckland back to Hoskin. They'll go back to go forward. Oh, Goodrum dropped what he should have taken. Open the door for Snook to Bailey. High kick inside 50. McBean couldn't quite pull it in. Second opportunity. Shovel it out towards Scharenberg. He knocks it on. That was clever. Reynolds should pick up and goal. In the end, goes off the ground and gets, surprisingly enough, given what the scoreboard is saying, a much-needed one for the Bays. They go back out to a 35-point lead. 15-5, 95 on the Williams Refrigeration scoreboard. The Doggies 8-12, 60. 11.5 gone last quarter, and it wasn't pretty. But with Reynolds kicking his 4th for the afternoon, the Bays get a little bit of breathing space.
Yeah, and I suppose the drop mark to Trent Goodrum, and he'd love to have his time over again, yeah. I know, but Central's actually had the switch out to the grandstand side of the oval and had the numbers to be able to accelerate down this grandstand side and give their forwards an opportunity. But such was the drop mark. It was a 2v1. Partington was able to pick up and get a little handball, get an entry, and another goal to Reynolds.
Well, there's still a chance of Dogs, but another one of the Bays here would make it very tough as McCarthy follows up his kick. Determinedly handballs out to Partington, and now it's Big White. Lumbers forward, long kick, nice kick. And Reynolds, who's kicked 4, takes the mark at 50, puts it out in front of McBean. And McBean takes it 40 out, 45-degree angle. Kicked 2 today, both in the second half. He's had a good game, but hasn't perhaps kicked as many goals as you thought he might have in a game where the Bays have kicked a few. But here's his chance for goal number 3 and to really put things back on track for the Bays. So McBean, important kick. Put the Bays back out to almost 7 goals. He brings it back and kicks the goal. 3 to McBean. As I said, all in this second half. The margin for the Bays now back out to 41 points. We've gone 13.5 in this final term, and, well, the brief resurgence from Central has been quelled. A couple of goals to the Bays, and they've reminded us, Robbie, just how dominant they've been today.
Yeah, and I still hark back to a couple of plays ago, and it could have been easily an acceleration of play for Central down the fat side of the oval, and an entry for them, but instead it was a turnover goal, and then they've replied again, Glenelg, and they've pushed it out now to over 40 points. So Centrals are back to where they started. Unfortunately, 14 minutes have surpassed since, so they're going to be pushing it north now.
Trav Schiller to Menzel, direct with his kick towards the 50. Hoskin there, Joseph wearing him like the proverbial glove, and Betterman comes in, tackled, throw, the crowd cry, play on the call. Scharenberg just manages to pick it up to Curran, avoids the heavy body contact. It'll come back in his direction, Curran, and he does well, hooking it back to half-back. Well trapped by Menzel. Menzel kicks towards the hot spot, wrestling. Jiden Nagel knocked away from him. Bradley's got it. Nagel tackles him. Another fierce tackle by Gillard, too high on Gould. And he'll get the free. He goes over the top to Agnew. He'll get it back in the 1-2 at half-back. Goes back to Partington, who's been very good for the Tigers today. Little chip kick out wide, looking for shot. Umpires found a free kick, going to go to that play, was hung on to in the contest. And Shot's got it at a wing here at Elizabeth. Just tipped short and finds McBean. 15 gone in this fourth quarter. McBean towards half forward. And Glenelg just slowly moving it forward. It's with McCarthy. His kick to 50. Oh, Hosey, very good. Long way out. He bobs up immediately looking for the options. What's going on? He puts out the pass. It's a nice kick just over everyone's head in the end. And out of play. Wasn't touched, so the doggies will get the free. McKenzie. Deep in defence in that left back pocket. Got to keep things moving. So it'll just not a lot on offer for McKenzie at the moment. As he goes back, high kick back towards half-back, knocked down. Crummers coming through. Bay player couldn't take it in shot. Ball's about 45 out from the Tigers' goal, and we'll have a ball up. Glenelg 16-5, 101. Central's 8-12, 60, 41 points the Bays lead by. Williams Refrigeration scoreboard. 16 gone, final quarter. Bradley's little chip kick. Doing well, Bailey got a handball out, ricochets back to Bailey, snaps at the goal. McBean knocked it down. Reynolds a chance for his fifth, couldn't quite gather it in. Central will clear. O'Gorman found Presbury, 60 from his defensive goal. And Central just looking to steady things down now, but time is ticking away. Kick for Darcy Pisani, well spoiled by Betterman, close to the line. Umpires found a free kick, felt that Betterman was perhaps a little too enthusiastic in his tackle there on Darcy Pisani, gave away the free kick, so Pisani back to Menzel, deep in defence. Menzel will go across the face of goal. He spotted up O'Gorman. O'Gorman's got it, comes towards half-back where Barreau takes the grab for Central. So Barreau now kicking down the wing, searching for Jiden Nagel. He couldn't quite get there. He's kicked it out of mid-air in frustration.
Well, it's gone into the car park. That's the problem, too.
And that'll be a free, I feel, to Glenelg. Just that moment of frustration, and you can understand it, but in the end, all it results in is a free kick to the Bays and a 25. Chalmers will take it. There's a 41 points Glenelg lead by, almost 18 gone in this last quarter. Chalmers' kick dropped short, and it's Hayden sweeping in and taking the nice mark. He goes over the top, finds Jew, who's had his moments today. Chips short to Darcy Pisani, who I think's been pretty good for the Dogs. Goes to Jew, to Jared Schiller. And now Jew again, former underage player for South Australia. Joseph there with Hoskin. That's a good matchup. Joseph fisted out of play. Throw it on the outer wing in front of some Bays fans. Watching things intently. Their side has done the job today. They'll stay up there in that top two. and they deserve that. As White versus Fort in the ruck. White slaps it down. Bassani again working hard, charging through O'Gorman. Kicks looking for and finding Trav Schiller. Gets the handball off to brother Jared. And Jared Schiller drives inside 50, but too tall, too strong, was Proud on Auckland. That was a good grab. He got up just that little bit higher. Auckland flat-footed. He went short. Curran a bit flat-footed himself, didn't take the mark. Central pressuring all the way. Flynn Pisani in there with the tackle, but a quick kick out of there from Curran. And in the end, it's knocked towards the line. Free kick, I think, going the way of the Bays. Doggies fans don't like it, but it's Reynolds who's got it. Reynolds with 4 goals for the game. Long way from home. About 30 seconds from time on in this last quarter. Reynolds drives it long down the wing. At the back there, Fort with White. And on the bulk of the rucking today, Fort shoveled out the handball. Hosey was good. Got it back towards Snook. Snook stops, assesses his options. Goes short, looking there for Agnew. Agnew was good to Bailey. Bailey's away and running. Nice kick from Bailey, lands on the chest of Reynolds. Player spotlight this quarter. Troy Menzel there for the Dogs, thanks to SA Power Networks, an iconic SA organisation. But the big story is Reynolds lining up for his 5th, as we've just ticked into time on in this final quarter. And Reynolds should make no mistake from this distance, about 20 out straight in front. He'll kick his 5th, become the highest goal scorer on the ground. And he's done just that. The Doggies, the Bay, should I say, get their 17th, out to a game high, almost game high lead of 47 points on the Williams Refrigeration scoreboard. And Reynolds, he's had a good day with his 5 goals, Robbie, but hasn't perhaps dominated, but every time it's come to him in front of goal, he's done the job. Yeah,
he doesn't need many opportunities to certainly impact the game and certainly the scoreboard, but another fantastic kick by Darcy Bailey. Yeah. Darcy Bailey's only had, I think 8 or 9 possessions, but he's used it really well. He's been really smart at, going inside 50 and to make good decisions, especially when you're attacking a 50 in fast play, to actually see something. You can sometimes get a rush of blood and want to go too deep, which I think Centrals have done a lot today, but he was able to spot his teammate in Reynolds and just knock it into him to make sure of it.
So Darcy Bassani with the handball to Presbury. Over the top to Harble. Goes further afield out here to Flynn Bassani. He takes it, the young man. Drives the Doggies towards 50. Knocked down, though, by the ever-reliable Proud. He's such a solid defender. You don't think of him as in terms of kicks and marks and handballs, but he's always that guy there doing the job for you, Max Proud. Always with the defensive push, the knock away, all the 1%ers on show. Such a valuable player to the Tigers.
Well, he's probably almost the premier defender in the competition. Yeah. He's been absolutely fantastic. He has been for a good number of years now, and he's so valuable. You wouldn't want to lose someone like Max Proud out of your team.
A shot with the long kick towards the wing. McCarthy's got that, but he's been wrapped up by a couple of Dogs players. On the Williams Refrigeration scoreboard, Glenelg 17-5, 107. Central's 8-12, 60, 22 and a half gone in this final quarter. Centrals have battled hard, but Glenelg are going to win and win well, and they deserve to do so because they've played a very nice brand of footy today here at the Elizabeth Oval, the ex-convenience oval. As handball comes out there from Gould towards Scharenberg. Hoskin had it, tackled. Ball skews out of play. He's been good for the Dogs. He's worked so hard, Hoskin, but in the end, the Bay's just too strong as Gould found Bradley. And Bradley's away. He's had a couple of bounces. Runs through half back. Kicks now to half forward, where Agnew takes a good grab for Glenelg. And all these names, all these guys have contributed. Some more than others, but they've all played their part. As Agnew short to Snook. Snook from about 55. Loads up. McBean knocked it down. Hosey lurking. Reynolds there as well in the end. Through for a behind. Margin to 48 points. Glenelg led by 50, that's their biggest lead of the game. 23 and a half gone last quarter. Gives the Tigers a chance to go back inside their 50. But the Doggies resolute. Jew chips back to Menzel, last line of defence. To Harble, right back pocket. Just chipping it round the Dogs. As Big Auckland's got it now. Kicks it back to Menzel. And Central coming towards half-back. O'Gorman's got it. Wants to go with the left foot kick back towards the outer wing. Backing back, Fort did well to pull in the catch. And now Presbury for the Dogs. And they get a late consolation goal as Trav Schiller's got it at half forward. Something building perhaps for Central. Hoskin was there, it was knocked from him. Chalmers to Curran. And now Chalmers again towards the 5-goal player for the Bays, Reynolds. Kicks to Partington, had a fumble. Recovers and goes short and finds Hosey. So Hosey keeps going, little chip kick over the top. And Partington's run on and taken a nice mark. About 55 from goal, half forward for the Bays. He's gone back rather confidently, Partington. Loads it up, kicks it right to the top of the goal square. Fisted down, McBean, the unlikely crummer, couldn't quite pick it up. McCarthy had a go. Close to the line, Partington lurking there too. He'll get another shot. Handball's back to Motlop. It was out of play though. And we'll see another boundary thrown at 50 as both sides sort of going through the motions a bit now. We've gone 25 and a half in this last quarter. Couldn't be a whole heap of time left. Presbury, nice little give over the top to Menzel. Menzel's kicked down the wing and Fort marks it right on the boundary. Fort wheels around, finds Jared Schiller. Jared Schiller with the footy, handballs over the top to Fraser Fort. The handball continues for the Dogs as this is Goodrum. Nice little pass on that occasion. And the mark's taken by Flynn Pisani. So Flynn Pisani drives it to 50, but Glenelg numbers all over that one, and Curran, the man in front, takes the mark. Goes short, close has it to Snook. Snook runs to half-back, loads up with the left foot kick. Hosey 2 to beat, knocked down by Jenner. Hosey dives in on this one. Great desperation by Hosey. I think he's trying to hang on to a 5-point lead in the dying seconds of a grand final, the way he dived in on that one, rather than his side comfortably leading by 8 goals. Latter stages of this contest here at Elizabeth from the restart. Partington get his stats at the end of the game. And that's a nice kick, and Hosey rewarded with a nice mark despite the efforts of Barreau. So Hosey can go back and line up for goal. It's been a good day for him, a good day for the Bays. He's been always alert, as the young Lockie Hosey. 3 goals today. Had a hand in at least a couple of others. And now can line up for his 4th. Hosey's kick looks good, just drifts away. Reynolds fists it through. Margin out to 49 points now. 17-7-109. Central's 8-12-60. 28 gone last quarter. And there is the siren to end the contest here at Elizabeth. In the end, it's a victory and a commanding one to the visitors. Just repeating that scoreboard on the Williams Refrigeration scoreboard. Glenelg 17-7-109. Central's 8-12-60. 49-point win to the Tigers over Central here at Elizabeth. And what was a game that a lot of people thought Central had a real showing in, and maybe at times they did. In this final quarter, they got back to within 5 goals. You thought maybe, but Glenelg steadied and ran out comfortable 49-point winners. Goal scorers for the Tigers, thanks to Telstra Store Glenelg. 5 to Reynolds, 3 to McBean, 3 to Hosey, and then we saw singles to Sharonberg, Motlop, Bailey, Partington, Bradley and Gregson. While for Central, also thank you to their local Telstra stores. Their goal scorers, 4 to Hoskin was great. Singles then in budget order, Menzel, Fraser Fort, Jyden Nagel and Nick Gillard. In the end, a 49-point win to the Bays. One that they'll certainly enjoy and one that keeps them in the top 2. And, well, the under-18s are coming up. There seems to be a whole lot of players out on the ground, but that's good to see more footy coming your way if you're sticking around here. But Robbie, well done in the end to Glenelg. Central, as I said in that final quarter, just looked like they might challenge